team of election observers from the European Union was recently dispatched to different parts of the country to monitor the activities ahead of the February 18th polls. NTV's Ssenyonyi spoke with the chief observer of the mission, Eduard Kukan, about what the exercise will entail.
And normally whenever we have elections, there is an observation team that comes around, especially from the EU. They are here again to observe these elections, so we just want to try and understand what it is that they will be looking out for. And then of course there have been issues with previous reports, at least some people do punch holes in them, if you like. So joining me to try and make sense of this subject matter is Eduard Kukan. Eduard is the chief observer of the EU election observation mission. Good day.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to this debate.
All right, so as the observation team, for starters, what is it that you will be looking out for?
The task of the observation team is to monitor the election, meaning election campaign, the performance of media, the legislative framework for candidates. We will monitor whether all the candidates have the equal time, equal opportunities to address the people of Uganda, so that the people have informed choice when they go to vote in the election day. This year we are also we have finance analysts within our mission, and he is going to monitor how the finances are used in the election campaign. And then of course the election day, the voting, counting, tabulation, and that's practically all the issues connected with the preparation of the elections and the election day itself.
Previously, there have been concerns about these reports that are released by observation missions like the one you're heading now, especially in 2011, for example. Candidates will say that, look, these reports, one, they're a little bit biased, two, they're not as comprehensive. Credibility issues. How credible are these reports?
I am aware of this criticism by both sides, by the government and the opposition as well. I think that it is the task of each mission to produce credible report based on as much as information as realistically possible to get, meaning to contact all the actors in the elections, elections commission, candidates, political parties, non-governmental organizations, so that the picture about the situation is really complex and fair and objective. This time we shall have about 150 observers coming from different institutions. Some of them will be long-term. 30 of them are already in the country. They are deployed across the country in 15 places, and they will be used to monitor the situation in the countryside and so on and so forth. So after the elections, after the announcing the result of the elections, we are going to prepare the report. We shall take some time, because I understand according to the Constitution of Uganda the elections must be announced 48 hours after the elections by the Elections Commission. But it's too short time for us to say something comprehensive and serious, so we shall make only preliminary statement, and in, let's say, 10 days or 2 weeks we shall come with the full report. Now about the credibility. Each of those reports contains recommendations. It means that we are recommending all the interlocutors, not only to the government, but everybody, how to improve the next elections in order to get into more conformity with the international documents which are adopted in relations to the elections. It is up to the interlocutors whether they accept those recommendations or not. Of course, we would be glad if all the recommendations could be accepted and implemented, because we want to be helpful. There are many technical issues concerning the voting process itself, which could improve the quality of the elections. But going back to your question, I think that the credibility of those reports and those recommendations is high, and I don't want to joke, but if we are criticized by both government and the opposition, maybe we are right.
Maybe you're right. You have been sent here by the European Union, and many times the feeling is that whoever has sent you, whatever interest it is that they have, you're going to play into the hands of that. And that means that your objectivity could easily be veiled if you think this is the kind of report that the EU requires of me, or this is what it is that they see, that most probably you're going to be bent towards that side, as opposed to realistically what's on ground.
I think that these observation missions have a long tradition within the European Union. In the last 10 years, some 150 of them were sent to different countries all over the world. And we have at our disposal very sophisticated methodology which we follow in order to get the result concerning, as I said, media freedom, candidates' performance, organization of the elections, and all these things. There are two new things with this year's mission, but it's not only for Uganda. It's general methodology that we attach very great importance to the financial issues. That's why we have a new finance analyst in this mission, and it's going to be like that in all future observation missions to other countries. So I think finances, it's everywhere very important when you speak about money, about finances, and that's why, because we heard many concerns about that, and that's why we have our man who is well qualified, and he, with the help of our long-term observers and short-term observers, we shall also try to cover this issue. And I think that when you include some credible report on finances, it will help the general quality of the report itself.
It's your first time in Uganda, and one would think that maybe, I don't know if you feel you have enough knowledge about Uganda, its history, the happenings herein, and so on, and it could be a similar situation for the rest of your team. Do you feel you know enough about this country that if you're observing, you know what to look out for, which areas to go to, which ones not to go to, etc., etc., because it's your first time here?
The short version of my answer is yes, sir. I think I'm prepared for Uganda. I even speak Swahili, or I used to speak Swahili, and I spent many years in Zambia. I visited Tanzania or Kenya maybe 50 times. Uganda was the only country which I have not visited before. So I was ashamed, and I felt it's not enough to be a specialist on this part of the world unless you get the opportunity to touch Uganda. So, and I know a lot of history about your country. I know a lot about economy and development, so on and so forth. So what I needed to complete my qualifications about Uganda was to be here physically. So I think I can assure you and your viewers that I am ready for Uganda. I very much like Uganda, and I was fighting to get this post of chief observer in the European Parliament. I was very much interested, and it is my personal ambition to fulfill this job in a very good way.
You've only been here 2 days, and elections are just a short while away, about a few weeks to the elections, and one would wonder whether you feel you have enough time to do the observation, because campaigns have been going on for quite a bit of time. A lot has happened. Is that not important to be a part of your report? This short time that is remaining, is it enough for you to give a comprehensive report that is believable?
Yes, I understand the logic in your question, but first 10 members of our team arrive on 28th of December, so they will spend more time looking, watching, listening to everything. Of course, Uganda is a big country. You will have 29,000 polling stations, I understand, and with 120 observers you cannot cover everything, but we shall do a study of a sample of all these country organization, and I think that we will be credible enough in order to produce responsible report, because the observers which are here are also experienced. They visited other countries, so there are no newcomers to this agenda, and also the members of the so-called core team, they are analysts of legal affairs, the media freedom, all these concrete fields of the organization for the elections, so they are all competent, very good professionals, and I think however limited resources we have, we are going to behave in the most responsible way, and it is a matter of our professional prestige, so that, and we know that there are difficulties in Uganda. There are some concerns which we already heard, but we wouldn't like to say anything as yet. We should be impartial. As I said, we came to monitor, not to teach politics or something like that, and that's why we feel restrained in meeting the journalists, because we don't have the comprehensive picture. There is still some time to develop. Development can be very fast these days anywhere in the world, so we would prefer to give our assessment after everything is complete.
I would imagine that for you to do a good job of observing, you need the support and collaboration of government, of the Electoral Commission, of the police. Do you feel this support is there?
You are absolutely right. We are meeting several times all these institutions and people which you mentioned. Yesterday I had a meeting with Prime Minister, for example. Meeting with President Museveni is arranged. Yes, they are receiving us. They are engaged into business-like discussions, because those experts which I mentioned, members of my team, are specialists, so they are asking very direct questions. They know their business. It's not a blah 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 discussion, it's really concrete discussion, and we get the cooperation in the sense that we have really unlimited access to everybody we ask for. And there the discussion is, we are asking questions because we want really to have the correct picture on the situation, but going back to your answer, yes, we get all the support for performing our mission in a very good way from all the institutions, NGOs, government, parliament. Today I'm meeting the mayor of Kampala even. So we are happy with the way we are received and the information which we are getting here. Yes.
Finally, elections in a country like ours, much of the time people get upbeat, there's lots of excitement, and of course unfortunately sometimes it gets tempestuous and all. Everybody's waiting for these elections, and we hope that it goes the right way. What would your message be to Ugandans as they prepare to vote, as they look forward to this?
I think you are absolutely right saying that election time is a special time in any country. People get excited because it's about the future of the country, who is going to govern the country in the next period, and that's why I think that all the institutions and persons involved in the election campaign should behave in the most responsible way to organize free elections, peaceful elections, so that people can have their decision whom they would like to see leading the country ahead in the next period. So my appeal to the population of Uganda is please go and take part in the elections. It's your right. You are contributing to the fact who will lead you, what kind of government you are going to have. Do it in a peaceful way. Of course, we are all human beings. Sometimes we get emotional, but emotions are not very helpful when you engage your ratio to make some right decision. Do it in a peaceful way to show that the people of Uganda is civilized people, that they would like to perform their duties in a good democratic manner, and be aware of the fact about the importance of your vote, because by casting it you are taking in the decision whom you would have to lead you in the next 5 years.
Eduard Kukan, Chief Observer of the EU Election Observation Mission, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you for your interest.
Thank you.